Well, good afternoon, everybody. This is Steve Kay of Cattle Buyers Weekly, taking a look at the monthly cattle on feed report released by USDA just a little while ago. The numbers, if you haven't heard them, for the U.S., and of course it's feedlots 1,000 head and over. On feed, October 1, 10.474 million head. That's 100.6% of a year ago. Placed into feedlots in September, 2.388 million head, that's 104.7% of a year ago, and marketed in September, 1.746 million head, 96.4%. And that last figure is what jumps out to me. Obviously, we saw that kills were very light in July, they picked up in August, and then they dropped back again somewhat in September because of continuing weak beef demand and a determination by packers to manage their margins. And as a result of that, marketing slid year on year. Now, of course, steer and heifer slaughter is consistently running about 4 to 5% below a year ago. And so the September marketing number being 96.4% wasn't any great surprise, but it was about a percentage at least below most forecasts, and therefore I think the market will regard it as slightly negative to the near term. September placements were slightly lower than forecast, but they were above year ago levels for the third month in a row, and what that means is that feedlots, after really placing fewer cattle against the time frame that we're currently in, and that's why the cash live cattle market is showing a little bit of strength over the last couple of weeks, is likely to run into some more cattle again, and an increase in numbers year on year starting in January, bad weather aside. Now, as occurs seasonally, feedlots place significantly more heavier weight cattle than lighter weight cattle. However, the lighter category provided the bulk of the year-on-year increases in placements. The under 700-pound category saw 940,000 head placed, and that was up 80,000 or 9.3% from last year's numbers. Conversely, the 700 and over category saw a much larger number, as I mentioned. That was 1.448 million, but that was only up 27,000 or 1.9% from a year ago. So bottom line on feed inventory numbers, that the smaller marketings and the larger placements meant that the October 1 on feed total that I mentioned was above year-ago levels for the first time since April 2008. Now, if you look at on a regional basis of the cattle on feed totals in the major feeding states, Texas was flat with last year, been running behind, but their placements were up 12%, so a big increase brought them back up to 100% of last year. Kansas and Nebraska, conversely, their placements, they were up only 5% in Nebraska. Well, Kansas was up 5%, and Nebraska was flat with last year, so their on feed total is up 3%. Colorado cattle on feed total is up 10%. They placed fewer cattle, in fact, than last year. And Iowa on feed is up 9% because their placements compared to last year are up a whopping 30%. So not a lot of surprises, as I say, perhaps slightly negative to the market, but certainly I think it looked like the packers were prepared to pay $82 to $83 on the Southern Plains for cattle today. Not a great trade developing, but obviously the real story going forward is what holiday demand for beef will be like at the moment. It looks like out front business is a little slow, and demand, as I've said every month, continues to be the dominant factor in the live cattle market. So that's all for this month, and we'll talk to you again next time. Thank you.